in my job. And also believing that being within the confines of the law will always make me responsible and also come up with good results. I wish to introduce only two currencies that I believe will work in elections. Currency number one is observance to the rule of law. And the currency number two is timelines. So with my experience, I want to anchor all my work based on those two and also develop a voter-based approach in the management of elections, whereby, according to me, everything should rotate around the voter. In our programs, in whatever we do, the voter should always come first.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
Have you had any by-elections in the areas you have supervised elections? It's a yes or no?
Yes.
What was the circumstance of the by-elections?
We had a by-election in Loyangalani Ward in Marsabit County, Laisamis constituency. It was after the death of a county assembly member.
Okay, thank you. Linda, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Mutwiri, I note that you are an employee of IEBC.
Yes, madam.
At the moment.
Yep.
What is your position?
County elections manager.
For Kiambu.
For Kiambu, and during elections, I'm gazetted as the county returning officer.
Okay.
Yes.
That is great.
Thank you.
So, how have you prepared yourself, noting your current position and noting the new role that you will be able to undertake if you are picked as one of the members of the IEBC Commission? How have you prepared yourself for your new role?
Thank you so much, Madam Leader. As the county election returning officer for Kiambu, I have gone through a lot in terms of elections and I have experience. Now, I have prepared a 30-day, 60-day, and a 90-day plan of action, which, if the Commission allows, I can present before you. Secondly, I have used the 2022 elections as my baseline, and I also have timelines that I have prepared, because anytime you are working with elections, because I believe in observing timelines, I believe in working from the day. I'm seeing myself, today is 1st of April. We have 61 days to 10th of August 2027, because the Constitution talks of holding elections on the second Tuesday of the month of August, 5 years preceding the date of the previous election. So for having 61 days, to a layman it looks like it's a very long time. But in actual sense, in terms of election preparedness, there's challenges that I can see ahead. So I have prepared those two. A work plan in case I become a commissioner with IEBC. There are things that we must do within 30 days, 60 days, and 90 days. And also we have to work using the existing timelines with the 2022 as my baseline. Thank you so much.
And how do you intend to use the experience that you had as an IEBC officer to be able to conduct your role as a commissioner out of the experience that you have had?
Okay. Thank you, Madam Leader. So I want to use experience from best practices and lessons learned. Having been a presiding officer, I understand, even if I'm woken up at 2 a.m., the roles of a presiding officer, the layout of a polling station, what should go into the ballot box. I want to be that commissioner on call to assist people, because the experience I have is over 15 years in elections management. I can't compare it with someone who will hold elections for only, who will go through a training for only a very short time. So there are best practices. One, the areas I'm seeing that I should rectify with speed as a member of the commission. One is on voting. I know there is a supervisory function module in our kits. We need to look on that. We also need to look on voter assisted. I mean, there are gaps here and there. And the good thing with the commission is that we are on a continuous improvement approach in the management of our elections. The second thing that I want to do with my experience, IEBC does good work, but there is some trust. There's a trust deficit. As a commissioner, I want to come and create trust to Kenyans that as much as we are independent, we have to be seen to be independent. Given a chance, I would say that I will make anniversary towers. I'll have a glass window such that anyone, even at Haile Selassie Avenue, will be able to see what we are cooking. As people think we are cooking, we don't cook. It's only that Kenyans maybe do not understand what we do. So I want to bring in accountability. I want to bring in transparency in our operations and bring on board all the stakeholders. Remember, IEBC is independent, but we are interdependent. We have no security of our own. Represented here is a team that if you are involved from day one, elections, we will demystify the issue of IEBC, and so I will bring in all the stakeholders to ensure funding is done in good time and to ensure that people buy in to our processes. One experience, if you don't mind, that I'll mention. In Marsabit County, I know we faced some challenges. And what I did, I came to the chairman, the late Wafula Chebukati. May God rest his soul in eternal peace. I mentioned it to him and I found him. And I brought in the warring parties to the Electoral Code of Conduct Committee. And immediately, in 2017, campaigns were stopped for 2 good weeks. And thereafter, the candidates appeared. I also appeared to the Code of Conduct Committee. They were fined. But the order that was restored in Marsabit is something that I can always remember. One thing that I know is that Kenyans respect the law if they understand the law. So that is one of the things that I would like to bring. That I was assisted by the Interreligious Council in Marsabit. They are the ones who give me the modalities of how to manage the violence that had occurred. So this is one of the things that I will do when I come in. Kenyans must own up the elections management.
It sounds like you're going to open the servers without a court order.
No,
Thank you, Chairman. That was on a light note.
Okay, thank you so much. Asante.
Thank you very much. I'd like to ask Madam Caro Kituku to ask you some questions. Caro.
Thank you, Chairman. I would like to pick up Mr. Mutwiri from where my colleague has left at. So you know very well Article 10 of the Constitution establishes the national values, right? Good governance, integrity, transparency, and accountability. Article 82 of the Constitution puts down the mandate of the IEBC. One of the mandate of the IEBC is to facilitate the observation, monitoring, and evaluation of the elections, right? Now, in light of what you're saying, that you're going to put up a glass ceiling, if it was possible for all of us to observe and see, I would like you to explain to the panel what, in your understanding, and what you would intend to do should you become successful as a member of the IBC on facilitating or, ensuring that the IBC realizes its mandate in relation to observancy of the elections, so that we can see whether it has fulfilled its mandate. So what is it that you would do?
Okay.
Your skill set, how do they speak to the mandate of facilitation of the observation, monitoring, and evaluation of elections?
Thank you so much, Madam Caroline. Observers play a very key role in elections. That is both domestic and international. They are the people who give reports about the election management. I will not involve observers on the last day. We have the pre-election phase of it. We need to accredit observers, invite them, take them through the processes. One thing with observers is that they are neutral, and they have signed to some charters. Like, I think there is the Global Standards Charter, observers of citizen observers. And we have another charter that is on the Universal Declaration of Human Rights of 1948. Most of them have gone through that charter. So by the time they are coming in, I'll bring them on board so that they understand our activities, the entire electoral cycle, in a manner that they will not just come to observe elections on the last day, but it will be elections from day one. They will observe the logistical part, the materials distribution. They will look at things about technology. What technology are we using? And this is why I'll advocate for simulation processes before the election day. For instance, we should have a scenario whereby we pre-test our technology before the elections, so that even the observers can get prior information, prior knowledge of our activities. One, because if someone is not informed, if an observer has not understood our processes, there is a likelihood that he or she might come up with the wrong deduction from the management of our elections. So I'll bring them on board as we bring the issues of the values, integrity, transparency. We have to be transparent in our activities. It should be like even a standard class, a standard one child understands our processes. So thank you so much, Madam.
Allow me to follow up on two issues that you have raised up for clarity. Number one, I did not understand how or to what extent UDHR, that is the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, yes, the one that you referred to, how it comes in to help IBC realize its mandate insofar as the observation of elections is concerned. The second issue is, as you speak about involving the observers in the process, I've heard you speak about allowing them to come and, when you're doing simulations of the technology. You may be very well aware that one of the problems that IBC has had consistently has been on procurement of technology itself. There have been a lot of court cases on that issue, and you can go back to 2022. There was so much, litigation around procurement of Smartmatics and other companies that were procured by IBC. Are you suggesting that as part of your realization of Article 10 values on transparency and accountability, you will also involve observers in the procurement processes? Please clarify.
Okay. Thank you so much. On terms of the Universal Declaration on Human Rights, I would say elections, one of the things that people face is violence, especially women and also the youth. I will make sure that we mitigate violence by using a program like, there's a program called Integrated Management of Security with IEBC, by involving other stakeholders. So that under that decree, we eliminate cases of violence against several groups. Another thing that I will do is that I will make sure that there is authorization of the Electoral Campaign Financing Act. One, because when we set limits, we are able to be on the same playing ground, as opposed to when there are no limits in the players that have been set. Secondly, election is about being free and fair. For fairness, that one I'll be able to bring into our system. I will not involve observers in the day-to-day functioning of the office. There should be terms of reference and terms of engagement anytime you are dealing with a third party. For instance, there are areas that even the law does not allow observers to get involved into. That is why accreditation must be done, and done very professionally. So according to me, observers are very key. For instance, on some functions, I'll give an example of our training in the 2022 elections. We involved observers from the European Union.
Thank you so much. I was just interested on that procurement of technology issue, and you've answered. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I wish you the best.
Asante.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. I want to ask Madam Koki to also ask you some questions. Koki, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Njabani,
yes.
Karibu
Asante
sana. You have told us that you have been with IEBC since January 2010.
Yes.
That's more than 15 years today. And you have also told us that there are several things you want to rectify with speed when you become a member of the Electoral Commission. Just to understand, so that I can frame my question properly, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest, how do you rate the performance of IEBC?
The general performance?
On the conduct of elections. Just, 1 or 2.
8 to 9.
8 to 9. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Now, you have said that one of the things that you, in answer to my colleague, that you would introduce transparency, simulations, and you are going to test the gadgets that are used for use of technology, used in technology for IEBC. Are you suggesting, and this is part of the question, please note it down because I will ask you another one. Are you suggesting that IEBC currently does not employ simulations and does not test the gadgets that they use before elections? That's number one. Number two, you have said that when you become a member, if you are successful, you are going to rectify with speed voting and assisted voters. You also told us that you have been a presiding officer and have been an election officer, so you have actually conducted hands-on. What is it that you wish to rectify in voting and with regard to assistant voters, and why haven't you done that already in those 15 years?
Thank you so much, Dr. Koki. So, one of the areas that I want to bring in, I am a trainer. I love training in most of our workshops. We do simulations. That one I agree. but we need to enhance simulations. I will
Thank you. Just go to the next question, to the next point.
The issue of voting. As a presiding officer, I realized one thing that we do. When the polling station is opened, you have to seal the ballot box and do a lot of things. You have to write the number and serial numbers of...
Assume I know.
Yes.
Assume I know that, and just tell me what it is that you want to rectify in voting itself.
In voting.
What has gone wrong that you want to rectify, and assisted voters as well.
I look at the time that we use in the evening. After the closure of voting, we have to open the ballot boxes and close them again, close the aperture and all that. I would like to introduce a scanner, so that in a manner that once a voter has voted, the vote can be exposed to a scanner that will count the vote. We can use that technology to avoid the issue of too much recounting and recounting. So I would introduce a scanner that will do that. I would even introduce a system whereby you can go and vote using a machine. It depends with your level of knowledge in terms of IT, so as to save on the time that the PO uses at the polling station. Because one, it is good admitting that our election is hybrid. As much as people think it is electronic, there is a manual bit in the in voting. But I'm being guided by Article 86 on voting in whatever that I do in election. So I will introduce electronic counting of votes at the polling station.
Thank you, Mr. Njabani. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Madam Koki. I would like to ask FCPA Tanui to ask you some questions. FCPA, please.
Thank you, Chair. Bwana Njabani, karibu tena.
Asante sana.
Just out of curiosity, why didn't you pursue the CPA exam? You stopped at CPA 1. What happened?
Thank you so much, CPA Tanui. So after getting CPA 1, I got a job with the Plan International. Okay. That was in Embu. Then with my way of life, I like concentrating on work. So I over-concentrated on the work in Embu. And later on, that is when I joined Dista University for a degree.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, one of the operational challenges that IEBC has faced, which also affects its governance, is high turnover, both of members of the Commission and also among the Secretariat. For the Secretariat, in the post-evaluation report, IEBC did establish that over 22 members of staff exited the Commission, and in the subsequent year, another 45. So the exit of staff will affect the institutional integrity and continuity of the Commission. So first of all, what are the issues that lead to the exit of staff at IEBC? What are the causes? And if given an opportunity as a commissioner, what would you do to address those challenges?
Okay, thank you so much, CPA Tanui. So, yes, there is high turnover in IEBC. One, I would say most people join IEBC without understanding the laws involved. Election management is not a child play. The forces that come during that time and the pressure is normally too much. Remember, we conduct 6 elections in one day and a very high voltage. whereby you have to understand every role and every function. And remember, you are still guided by the law. You have to do everything within the law. Otherwise, you'll be a victim of irregularities and illegalities. So maybe people come and they realize it was not as they thought. Just like these commissioners' jobs. They look good when you are in those big vehicles. Wait until you get to the day of election. That is when people understand the sort of job it is. You have to be resilient, you have to be firm, because there is pressure from all over.
So what will you do?
So one thing
as a commissioner?
I will do is I will review our scheme of service to ensure that there is one, people are well enumerated as per the guidelines from SRC. Secondly, bring an issue of hierarchy and people growing within the commission. Right? If I say I've been a presiding officer, I have been a returning officer at the constituency, at the county, so there should be growth. People should be encouraged, and there should be hope that even if you are a clerk in an election, there are chances that if you work hard and you are committed to your work, you can even become a commissioner. So people should, that is what I will do. I will develop very clear job descriptions that will meet the job specifications of all the other issues. Secondly, I will bring a mechanism that I would call peer review mechanism within the commission, whereby, for instance, the commissioners, why should the people differ? We should have a peer review mechanism that is maybe gives a 360 degrees feedback to our operations in a way that each directorate should work in tandem with the other directorate. And by so doing, using the peer review mechanism and other issues, we will be able to grow as a commission. Secondly, I will refer people to some institutions like the Kenya School of Government. People should understand how government officers work. As you can see, I enjoyed the commission from an NGO world. So I had to be taken through very serious induction for me to understand how government operates and my areas of operation.
Thank you, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
Let me ask Evans Misati to ask you some questions. Evans, please.
Thanks so much, Chair. Arnold Mutwiri.
Yes, Mr. Evans.
Asante. Did I hear you say that you have already prepared a work plan? Did you prepare a work plan as the Kiambu manager or as a potential commissioner?
Thank you so much. I believe hope is good and use of faith is also good. So I prepared my work plan as a commissioner because for Kiambu I already have. So I prepared my 30-day, 60-day, and the 90-day work plan of action in case I find favor before this panel to become a commissioner.
That is interesting.
Yes.
Thanks so much. Now, in your normal daily work, related to the same, do you prepare work plans which you give to the Secretariat or to the IPC?
Thank you so much. As a county elections manager, we have a work plan that we use, just like we have a procurement plan. So I study my team. I'm in charge of 12 constituencies. And after interacting with them, I know their strengths. So I use their strengths to assign duties and responsibility and ensuring that everybody is on board, that there is no one who is new to our plans. So we do it, and I will do it if I become a commissioner.
Now, I meant the plan of IPC at national level.
Yes.
Do you contribute to the national plan at the IPC level? And if you do, how do you involve the people of Kiambu in coming up with a work plan that actually fits up to the national at secretariat level? How do you involve the people of Kiambu?
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Evans. We have a strategic plan as a commission. Currently, the Secretariat is ready with a draft plan for the next 5 years, because the one we had expired, but it is just awaiting the blessings of the commissioners. In the development of the strategic plan and our plan of duties, we are involved, because there is a way we select people. Like the manager, I am tasked with the responsibility of maybe appointing 1 or 2 members from my team, who will meet with other members from other directorates so as to come up with a plan of action and to develop the strategic plan so as to bring synergy.
Thanks so much. The last question. We have always talked about the IEBC commissioners being the policy makers. Can you give a specific example of the policies that the IEBC commissioners make?
One of the policies that is meant by the Commission is we have a stakeholder engagement policy. We have a transfer policy within the Commission. We have a human resource management policy. We have a policy guiding partnerships. There are several policies and even manuals.
Thanks so much. I wish you well.
Thank you so much.
Back to you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Ms. Fatuma. Saman, kindly.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Mutwiri.
Yes, Madam.
Would you please tell the panel what mechanism that you're going to use if you become a commissioner to help prevent voter suppression and disenfranchisement? Because sometimes you find that's what leads to poor voter turnout. So what mechanisms are you going to use to ensure?
Thank you so much, Madam Fatuma, for that. One of the areas that I will ensure that I bring to order is the issue of printing of ballot papers. This thing should be as clear and as possible to all the players. Even if it costs, because if we decide to print our ballot papers outside the country, it is not wise for just IEBC and the printer to work on the ballots, on the ballot papers, and bring them in. We have to involve the stakeholders. They should know the printer. They should visit the printer. They should counter-check whatever is done to avoid cases whereby there is a mishap of ballot papers. Secondly, on defranchisement, let every Kenyan know that his or her vote will be counted at the polling station and will be accounted for by IEBC. That is our responsibility to manage elections. We will count and account for each and every voter. Thirdly, there is no election without agents. People complain, oh, agents interfered, made noise. No. At times you have not made them understand even the voting process. I will strive to ensure that agents understand the processes equally or even more than the IEBC, so that by the time that person is going to vote, he or she feels that his vote will be counted and accounted for. The other area to avoid suppression is that we have to consider that Kenya is unique and there are challenges. The challenges in Nairobi are not the challenges in Marsabit. I have worked in Marsabit. Currently, I understand if someone tells you that a polling station might open late in North Hall, and someone here in Mathare will not see what I'm talking about. We have to develop even some sort of an affirmative action so that everybody, every Kenyan gets a right to vote. Remember, I want to introduce a voter-centered approach to the commission, whereby all our programs must revolve around the voter. Voter education. How informed are they? Business cannot be as usual. The same voter education that was done by ECK, we can't continue employing them at this particular age. So I want to bring in current levels of even interacting with the voter. One, we have to get into the digital space, whereby there is a whole niche of voters who we shall be able to find in that space. IEBC, we have to go and get those people. Develop some clips and put them in TikTok, whereby our youths will be able to relate and they will understand voting even from TikTok. So those are just a few examples that I'll bring in that will be able to suppress and bring sanity to our elections. And by so doing, create a level of confidence amongst the voters.
How do you create confidence in the public that their votes are going to count? I'm interested in the approach and the strategy, apart from voter education, or rather the content of education, voter education. How different will it be from what was previously there to ensure that you're able to convince Kenyans that their votes matter?
Thank you so much, Madam Fatuma. So about confidence creation, we have to move from where we are to where we intend to be as a premier electoral management body that will be respected in Africa. One, when it comes to strategies, we should develop a strategy that brings on board. One, we have to have a very intentional identification of stakeholders. We mainly base ourselves with, I can use the word traditional stakeholders, but there are so many stakeholders in the electoral management body. We need to benchmark from other democracies, from other EMBs all over the world, and come up with the best practices for this area of strategy development. So one of the strategies, of course, we have an directorate called voter education. I will involve the staff from that directorate because they already have it. Now that IEBC is the front screen, the commission is the front screen of the commission, we need to make sure that our process is very well understood and they are clear, they are accountable, they are transparent, and counting of votes will be done in a very efficient and simple and accurate manner. Now that we have developed from times when we used to count votes, all the votes at the tallying center, the constituency tallying center. Now that votes will be, are normally counted and collated at the polling stations, we have to ensure that the counting is efficient and appropriate strategies are developed at all levels. Secondly, the users, that is the staff, should buy in to those processes so as to enhance that issue. Thank you.
Thank you. I welcome Mr. Nicodemus Bore to also ask you some questions. Thank you. Nicodemus, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman. Mutwiri.
Yes, Mr. Nicodemus.
And you are seeking to be a member of the commission.
Yes, sir.
And who is the head of that member of the commission?
The chairperson.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Out of, we are about 6 or 7 of you.
Yes.
The chairman and 6 members. Yet you have already made a work plan. How did you involve them?
Okay. Thank you so much. So, how IEBC works is that we have management reports that are developed by the directorates and submitted to the commission for plenary and approval. We've not finalized. We've gone to our best. Now, when the commissioners come, one of their functions will be to look at those management reports and not just approve what we have done.
So, did you make the work plan as a commissioner or as a secretariat?
The work plan that we have as a commission...
The one that you have done?
The one I've developed.
The 30 and the 60 day?
Yes, the one I've developed, I would say on the 30 days, there is... I have mentioned of review.
No, I'm not saying what is in the work plan. I'm asking whom did you consult while making the work plan? Because you are 6 of you. How will they get in to support your work plan?
Okay. Thank you. Now I get your question, Mr. Board. Now, one thing that I will do, I'll use my collaborative approach and knowledge in IEBC operations to make them understand. I will have that chance to take them through. And you know, when they are taken through by an insider, it will be easier.
So, you are doing this as a you are getting ready to be a commissioner?
By faith.
By faith.
Thank you, sir.
I hope they will accept your work plan by faith also. Secondly, you talked about the polarization of the campaign's finance bill.
Yes.
You said you will operationalize it. How will you do that?
Thank you so much. I know that is an hot potato. And we started it as IBC. JLAC have it. And I know there was a court order. And how we shall operationalize it. And remember, we are interdependent. So we have to involve all parties. I would like us to start it afresh from where we stopped.
So where is it at the moment?
Where it is at the moment is that after there were challenges of it being operationalized, there are people who went to court, and the court pronounced itself that we go ahead and gazette. I might not be having all the facts because I'm not at the headquarters, but I'm not ignorant of where I work. So it is at a level whereby it should be gazetted. But remember, the Constitution, there is the spirit of the Constitution and the Constitution itself. We need to bring on board and show all the players, all the stakeholders on the need of operationalizing the Campaign Finance Act. Remember, most of the laws in the acts we cannot use them until they have been operationalized to become regulations. So I think.
So do you think you have the mandate to operationalize the campaign finance bill, or I think it's the Parliament?
Yes, as is, we have to give input, then go again to Parliament. We cannot operationalize it as it is, as we are. But our input is required, and our stakeholder engagement is key to that issue, so that Parliament can see the need to operationalize it.
Maybe my last question is on digital literacy.
Yes.
You talked about introducing an extra digital application to the election process, maybe scanning or something like that. What is the level of literacy in this country in terms of percentage?
The level of literacy in the country in IT is increasing rapidly. I know it is above 50%.
It's 29%.
It's 29%? Okay.
So you will leave out 61% or so, 71% of Kenyans if you introduce another level of digital compliance during an election.
No, what I was saying, we can have two methods, because I'm trying to look at efficiency at the polling station. Actually, at the end of voting and during voting, such that when a voter comes, the voter will mark the ballot paper manually. Then the voter will scan. It's not even the voter, the PO or the clerk will scan the ballot paper. And the ballot paper gets counted. Then it is inserted it is put into the ballot box. So no one will be left out. It's only that I was saying, I remember when I joined IEBC in IIC.
I get what you are saying.
Yes, so there will be that level of introduction.
So will it be cheaper or more expensive?
It will be efficient in terms of counting.
In terms of funding, we are struggling with the 61 billion. That will make it another 70 billion. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just to ask a simple question, who will be briefing the new commission? Will it be a former county manager or the CEO of IEBC?
It will be the CEO of the IEBC.
So how will you use your plan?
Okay. My plan is not cast on stone, but it will be part that will be integrated with the other plan. Remember, I cannot come and join IBC with my own plan where I cannot change. It is just an idea that came into my mind.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman.
Professor Adams, kindly.
Thank you very much, Chair. Arnold.
Yes, Professor.
In answer to Ambassador Koki, on a scale of 1 to 10, you rated IEBC at 8 to 9. This is an IEBC that has had a presidential election nullified. This is an IEBC that 2 counties failed to vote because of a mixture of ballot papers and so many other things that the Supreme Court has said about IEBC. What informs your rating of 8 to 9 compared to Kenya's rating from pollsters?
Thank you so much, Professor. So, what informed my rating, I believe, is my level of optimism and the confidence and the passion I have about electoral management. Of course, yes, we have had issues here and there, but I believe one of our strengths is we have a very vibrant and professional secretariat. We understand our work. The only thing that we need is, as the Supreme Court give the recommendations, that one of the areas we need to improve as a commission is on corporate governance.
Yes. This work plan that panelist Misati, panelist Bore, the chair have inquired about, is the CEO aware of it?
Actually, thank you so much. No one else is aware of it except the person who prepared it. That was myself. It was just an...
Thank you.
Thank you.
What is it that in your 15 years as a member of the Secretariat makes you feel that Arnold now is ripe to move from the Secretariat to be now a commissioner?
Thank you, Professor. So why I feel qualified for this position of being a member of the commission is I have the requisite experience. I understand elections from voter registration to voter verification to voting and the whole result path. I know with voter registration, IEBC doesn't have many issues except on the issue of budget and the areas I want to improve on. My experience, one of the things I wish to introduce is development of a web-based platform for people to register. We don't have to waste a lot of time registering. Let people register from the comfort of their offices. Then come to IEBC just for capture of biometrics because they can put their things in order at their comfort and also reduce on human error by the clerks. Secondly, I would like to bring in to candidly state here that for all the elections that I have managed, my teams, I don't want to give credit to myself, my teams at DAI have assisted me. We have never had a successful by-election. Yes, we have had petitions up to Supreme Court, but all the courts have made all the elections that I've managed clean and okay. So I would say that I have that experience and on areas of mitigating problems within IEBC. Secondly, I have a lot of emotional intelligence. I can manage situations calmly but professionally and within the confines of the law.
Thank you, Chair.
Prof, do you have some two other questions kindly for the candidate?
Yes, Arnold. With your vast knowledge of electoral matters, which are the two counties with the highest number of constituencies, and which counties are this?
Thank you so much, Professor. One of the counties that has the highest is where I manage, Kiambu County. The second is Nairobi County. Our constituencies are 12. Nairobi County has, I think, 17 constituencies.
Still on your data on general elections, what is the day and month of the next general election?
Thank you, Professor. That is 10th of August, 2027.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Arnold. We appreciate the time we have spent with you. I would like to ask you if you have any question or comment to make so that we can be able to come to a conclusion. Please.
Thank you so much, Chairperson, for this time. And the whole panelist of distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I say thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak to you as well as to speak the nation, because at times we use opportunistic gatherings to speak and to conduct our voter education. Thank you so much and God bless you. I don't have any other.
Thank you very much. You have done some voter education today.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate you.
Yes,
please remember to pick your certificates.
Yes.
There's a bottle of water. The notebook is yours.
Yes.
And thank you for bringing your sisters along. We are grateful that you came to support your brother. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Blessings
much.
to you.
Asante. And God bless you.